Actually, this is a process around nation building and the opportunity as treaty partners and our other whanaunga that have come here to Aotearoa. How do we build in this framework to enable us to work in partnership that not only works at a board level but permeates right throughout the organisation? So look forward to an amazing presentation, amazing presenters who are doing fantastic work here in Aotearoa, cutting edge work actually.
So Ngā Rerenga is a new resource that responds to the aspiration within the community sector to be more engaged with the Treaty of Waitangi. And it aims to provide guidance and inspiration and sustenance to you in doing that. Really what the resource of Ngā Rerenga aims to do and encourages you to do is to ask this question about how we are faring, and then it provides some clear inspiration and ideas from organisations about what they've done, and some questions to kind of interrogate your practice and at whatever stage you're at, to be thinking about and to get focus and direction to this work. Some of the questions that an organisation like Youth Loan Otago was asking was recognising that they have a very Pākehā volunteer base, and so they were doing some interrogation. They were looking at the policies that they've got, but then really doing learning that had noho marae and engaging in learning from Te Ao Māori, and thinking and interrogating how all their processes, how they answer the phone, how their training works, how they structure their service delivery, and how that responds to Te Ao Māori, and acknowledging that their models were very Pākehā and individualistic, and that had implications for Māori engaging with their service, both as volunteers and coming to use the service as well.
So it's not like I'm president for Tangata Tiriti and Karen represents Maori. It's about we bring two different perspectives in the governance model. So we are leaders for all our members. Even I'm leading the Maori and Karen is leading non-Maori. But it's more about bringing spirit of treaty in the governance model. And it's doing the governance as per it was actually decided in the treaty. So we are doing justice to the treaty by adopting the model.
Just to say that if you want to find these resources, then groundwork.org.nz/resources, and as you can see on the screen, the first thing on there is the PDF, and so if you go into the PDF, you get all the links that I'm going to mention out of the PDF as well. So that's there, freely available for you to download, print, use. You can also order the pretty coloured ones as well, but yeah, freely accessible. So also, if we go back to that page, the organisational stories are the in-depth interviews that we did with the organisations reflecting on their journeys. And so from this page, you can access the PDFs for each of those, and also you can just have a scan of that and go, oh, that looks like an organisation doing something similar to us, or working in a similar way, or they're national, or they're very remote and local and nothing similar to us, but maybe we're interested to know what they do anyway. So, and as I say, most of those are the organisational longer interviews, but Bananos also has some resources on there that they have shared too. So the third link of that part is that, as I mentioned earlier, the bringing together of a whole lot of different resources created in a number of places, some for schools, ones around working as allies, the researchers who contributed to the project, the reflections. It was such a rich conversation that we thought that it should be made publicly available. So their input as well. Two House Model Community Sector Task Force resources, which are great work that has been guided the sector for a long time. Useful corpusing guide. So all of those things are there, and that's a space that keeps getting added to. So if you think that there's really useful resources that you're using that should be included, then do please get in touch and we can add those in. Is that we enter into these relationships from that place of imbalance, which has given Pākehā power and privilege, and that Pākehā organisations have that power and privilege as well. And often we don't think about that in the community sector because we're struggling to survive and often feel like we might be fighting against a system that's not supporting us, but to also recognise that organisationally, Pākehā organisations do have power, and that need to be asking the questions about what are the resources that we're accessing and how are we writing the balance and distributing, sharing those resources. And also thinking too that in addressing imbalance, sometimes it's about actually just taking less space, not more. Listening really carefully to Māori and shifting over to make space. For the first time, we have an agreement by our government to honour Te Tiriti o Waitangi as the country's founding document, and that's in the confidence supply agreement between Labor and the Greens. So that's exciting. And community organisations have an active role to play, and a really important role to play in growing examples of how we do this stuff at the grassroots level, because our change will be driven and always has been driven from the grassroots. And so community organisations modelling and bringing Te Tiriti alive in their work is such an important part of a flourishing Aotearoa. That you respond to Te Tiriti needs to align with your organisational focus. It needs to make sense and fit with your values, but you also need to be kind of challenging those values to see how they reflect the context of Aotearoa. Who can we be building external relationships with that inform our work in terms of kaupapa aligned organisations or local hapu whose our work relates to. And so thinking about those different models and shaping what you deliver in relation to where you are, whose land you're on, and thinking critically, how does our work reflect where we are in Aotearoa, the people whose land we are working upon, how are their voices in our work, and how do we seek to bring our work alive to meet not only the needs of this generation, but the generations to come.